The neon sky stretched endlessly over the spires of Lemuria, a city suspended above the clouds on a network of hovering platforms. Beneath the translucent streets, the abyss of the lower layers shimmered with drifting holographic advertisements and the faint hum of energy conduits. Mara Talon stepped carefully across the polished surface of Platform 7, her gaze fixed on the figure ahead. He had been waiting. She had heard stories of him for months, a wanderer, a man who had slipped through dimensions, carrying knowledge that no scholar in Lemuria could grasp. He was known simply as Kale. People whispered that he understood the threads that connected consciousness across the stars. And yet, despite the rumors, Mara's first thought was, he seems human. Kale turned slowly as she approached, his amber eyes reflecting the faint glow of the neon lights. He was taller than she had imagined, with the calm certainty of someone who had seen lifetimes. Yet his posture was unassuming, almost hesitant. "Kale," she said, her voice steady but tinged with curiosity. "I need to understand something. How do you see what others cannot?" Kale's lips curved into a faint smile, as though he expected the question. "It is not about seeing, Mara. It is about listening beyond the sounds, beyond the thought patterns. You are here because your mind is open enough to hear." Mara's brow furrowed. "Here? I've studied the neural synchronizers, the quantum consciousness arrays, everything. But what you're talking about, it's impossible." He gestured to a nearby observation deck. "Walk with me. I'll show you something that might change the definition of possible." Reluctantly, she followed. The wind whipped past them as they stepped onto the deck, where the city's edges disappeared into an iridescent mist. Below, the lights of the lower layers pulsed like the heartbeat of an artificial world. Kale extended his hand. "Focus on me. Don't think of me as a man. Think of me as a bridge." Mara felt a spark of hesitation but complied. Closing her eyes, she concentrated on his presence. At first, there was nothing, just the sound of the wind and the distant hum of energy engines. Then, faintly, a rhythm emerged, subtle and insistent. It was not auditory, it was almost emotional, a cadence of thought. "What is this?" she whispered. "This," Kale said softly, "is the resonance of a mind attuned to the cosmic weave. Each being has threads that stretch across time and space, Mara. Most cannot perceive them, but some can." Mara opened her eyes slowly. The mist around them seemed to pulse in tandem with the rhythm, colors shifting like the aurora of a far-off planet. She felt a sudden connection, not just to Kale, but to the city, the sky, the distant stars. Her own heartbeat synchronized with the pattern, and an unfamiliar calm settled over her. "I feel something," she murmured, "like I'm part of it, yet apart from it." Kale nodded. "Exactly. That is the sacred connection. It is rare, almost impossible to achieve. Most would crumble under the awareness of such interconnection. But you are ready." Mara took a step back, overwhelmed. "Ready for what?" "Why me?" "Because you asked the right question." His voice was gentle, but carried the weight of something ancient. Curiosity, when combined with courage, creates a channel. Many wanderers exist in your world. Few dare to question reality itself. Her mind spun. "So this connection, it can't just be studied or replicated?" "Not fully. Science can describe the mechanics, but it cannot capture the essence. What you experience now is a dialogue between consciousnesses. It is sacred because it transcends language, technology, and even time." Mara's heart pounded. She had chased knowledge her entire life, through laboratories, simulators, and theories, but nothing had ever felt like this. She realized, with a shiver, that Kale had not just shown her a phenomenon. He had opened a doorway within her own mind. The wind shifted, and the mist around them condensed into shimmering strands, threads of luminous energy that seemed to respond to their thoughts. Mara instinctively reached out, fingers brushing a strand. It felt alive, like a living pulse, warm and resonant. "You can touch it," Kale said. "It will not harm you. But you must understand, the connection is mutual. It asks for honesty, clarity, and trust." Mara hesitated, then exhaled. "I'm ready." As she allowed herself to merge with the threads, she felt a flood of awareness. Memories of distant worlds, beings she had never met, and knowledge that felt older than the stars streamed into her mind. Yet it was not overwhelming. Kale's presence anchored her, guiding her through the torrent. "You are seeing the weave," he said. "Every conscious thought, every intention, every heartbeat across the cosmos is a thread. They intersect, resonate, and sometimes they sing together. That song is what you just touched." Mara's voice trembled. "It's beautiful and terrifying. I feel everything." Kale smiled. "Good. That means you are attuned. Most cannot handle the magnitude, and they withdraw. You are ready to create, to shape, to understand." She looked at him, eyes wide. "Shape? But how? I don't even know where to begin." "Begin by asking another question," he replied. "Every connection starts with inquiry. Then you must accept that some answers are not meant to be told. They must be experienced, lived, and shared. The connection is not just a revelation, it is a responsibility." Mara felt a weight settle in her chest, but it was not oppressive. It was grounding. She realized that this connection was not about power. It was about insight, empathy, and stewardship. They stood together in silence for a long moment, letting the threads of the weave pulse around them. Then Kale spoke again. "There is one final test. You must share your understanding, not through words, but through intent. Focus on something living, something that needs guidance." Mara thought of the children of Lemuria, growing in a world divided by fear of the unknown. She focused on their potential, on the possibility of harmony, on the fragile hope that humanity could rise beyond itself. The threads responded, wrapping around her intentions, amplifying them, sending waves of warmth and color cascading across the mist. Kale's eyes glimmered. "You have done it. The connection is complete. You are no longer just an observer. You are part of the weave." Tears sprang to Mara's eyes, not of fear, but of awe. She felt a profound intimacy with existence, a sacred trust in the continuity of life and thought. And through it all, Kale stood beside her, not as a teacher, but as a fellow traveler. I understand," she whispered. "It's not about knowing everything. It's about participating, being present, and contributing." "Yes," Kale said softly, "and remembering that every question, every act of curiosity, every connection forms a ripple across eternity." The neon sky above Lemuria seemed to shimmer brighter, as if acknowledging the union of two consciousnesses with a vast weave. Mara turned to Kale. "Will you stay with me?" He considered for a moment, then nodded. "As long as you need me, yes. But remember, the sacred connection is not mine to give. It is yours to sustain." Mara smiled, feeling a newfound strength coursing through her. "Then we will do it together. Not to control, not to dominate, but to understand and to care." The wind carried their shared resolve across the hovering city, and Mara realized that she had stepped into a new existence, not bound by fear or limitation, but connected to the very fabric of the cosmos. And in that moment, the weave sang. It sang of inquiry, of courage, of shared consciousness across time and space. It sang of Mara and Kale, two souls who had dared to question, and in doing so, had formed a sacred connection that would echo across the universe. Mara felt the threads of the weave pulse around her, alive with possibility. Every thought, every heartbeat, every intention across the cosmos seemed to resonate with her own. She turned to Kale, her eyes shining with understanding. "I see it now," she whispered. "It's not about knowing everything, it's about participating, being present, and contributing." Kale's amber eyes softened. "Exactly. Every question you ask, every connection you nurture, sends ripples across the universe. That is the true power and the sacred responsibility of the weave." Mara took a deep breath. For the first time in her life, she felt completely connected, not just to Kale, not just to Lemuria, but to the vast web of life and consciousness that spanned the stars. She felt courage, hope, and a sense of purpose she had never known. "Will you stay with me?" she asked, voice trembling with anticipation and awe. Kale smiled, a quiet warmth radiating from him. "As long as you need me. But remember, the sacred connection is yours to carry, to nurture, and to share." Mara nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility and the beauty of possibility at once. "Then we'll do it together, not to control, not to dominate, but to understand and protect." The mist around them shimmered, threads of light dancing in harmony with their shared resolve. Above Lemuria, the neon sky seemed to glow brighter, as if acknowledging the unity of two minds with the cosmic weave. And in that moment, Mara understood the truth Kale had tried to show her from the start, that curiosity and courage could form bridges across time, space, and consciousness. That asking the right question could awaken a sacred connection, and that connection could change everything. The city below pulsed with life, but Mara no longer saw it as separate. She was part of it, part of the weave, part of something far greater than herself. And with Kale by her side, she knew they had just begun a journey that would echo across the stars. The weave sang their song, a song of inquiry, courage, and sacred connection, and for the first time, Mara felt truly home.